yes. And that I'd really like you to really look at chapter 12, and I'm going to step back on chapter 12.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be really good if you go in and you start putting that together with a lot of that. I think particularly you and Joshua are important for chapter 12 because you're the younger ones.
Right.
You know,
right.
And to really see what the two of you do. I mean, I've noted areas that I think are important, but they can be diminished, shortened, and whatever. I'd rather make voices. I really think you and Joshua will be the ones that will do better with chapter 12.
Yeah.
More work for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I will put out a very sketchy kind of a writing, to be honest, and I leave it to two of you as editors to really fine tune it and make it readable or give it the impact that it needs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some outlines because I find myself jumping around in each of these chapters. Doing this and that and the other. Well, for one thing, I have never read the book straight through.
Yeah. Right, which was what I encouraged you to do first.
Okay.
Well, it's
that was actually why I invited you, was basically as a reader, and then you were so good with pointing out editorial stuff. I thought, well, let's just add Mary as a fifth writer.
Well, when I can't understand something, I have to stop right then and explain why, as a reader, this doesn't work for me. And then maybe we can do something about it later. I can't fix everything as we go along.
But it helps if you're more in touch with the entire book, because then it becomes more meaningful to you. Pardon?
I need to see it on paper. I spend so much time staring at a screen.
Well, you can always print it out.
I have printed many times.
Oh.
Now, as we run errands or I go to a performance, I sit in the audience and I'm reading this paper.
Oh my gosh. None of us are doing that.
No,
I'm 2 years behind you. But anyway, I would like to do an outline, at least chapter 1 and 12 to...
You mean the introduction, or you mean chapter 1?
I mean chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Yeah, the one we read to prepare for today's meeting.
For what?
Right. Women Must Rise.
Right, that's chapter 1. Right.
Because I don't see the flow of it, but if I get it in outline form, maybe I can see what topics are coming and going at different times that might fit together well. Now, this is something I think you suggested to me that another editor is going to do eventually.
No, we want to get it pretty clean to send to the publisher. But that's why I'm trying to hurry everything, because I know from all my other books, it takes a year almost before the book comes out. And it's a whole big process, the whole publication process. They will go more for nitty-gritty edits. Or things that are problematic in referencing and citations. They don't talk about putting a paragraph in another place or anything like that. That's up to us to get that.
I would like to see better flow, and but I have to see the big picture in order to do that. An outline would really help. So there is an outline column. On a view of outline as you're reading and writing, but the outline has not been filled in.
Right. So if chapter 1,
I'll try to do that.
If chapter 1 is caught your attention, what you could do is
Sharon, you're cutting out.
Yeah, I know. I keep getting things that the internet is unstable. But anyway, you could download chapter 1 and do a different version in a different organization and just send it to me, because the others are have enough on their plate. Right.
I can look at that. Thank you.
Yeah. Because I did, Darden will remember, I did a lot of reorganization of chapter 9.
Yeah,
because it was confusing. Yeah. And so I spent a lot of time, I had to print it out and look at it and look at, okay, what really belongs in a better place here. So I understand that.
That was a fascinating study for me. All of this, I mean, Islam and the Middle East, as you know, I've been very naive, and I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. It's
I'm working with immigrants from the Middle East at the food bank every week.
cool.
Working with people from Afghanistan, Iraq,
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, and getting to know a little bit of their customs, their children. And I found that the Islamics,
the darkness and courage, and the darkness and contextualizing light, because I think when I actually stopped instead of resuming, and so then I had to copy again, and I have a hunch that original one is lost, but I want to put a reminder on Darden, that talk about courage and that talk about the darkness contextualizing light.
I was taking notes.
Great.
Now saying, here are some of the things we talked about.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be so nice.
That could possibly be a great lead into chapter 12.
Yeah.
We'll see how it comes together.
Yeah.
I love meeting with you personally.
Yes. Yes, Mary. I look forward to. Where are you in the U.S.?
I'm in California. And it's raining.
Oh, great.
We have 100% of our snowpack for the first time in years.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Celebrating water.
Yeah.
Especially given all the fires that California's had. It's just been horrible.
Yeah. I have a topic that I want to put in someplace, which concerns me personally. I have inherited forest land. My brothers and sisters and I have 80 acres of mountain forest. We can get money for selling carbon credits because our forest is sequestering the CO2, and therefore a big corporation who wants to pollute the planet can give us thousands of dollars, and they have permission to do more pollution because I sell them the fact that my forest is cleaning the air. Yikes. It doesn't seem ethical. I could make money, but that's just giving the bad guys permission to continue what they're doing.
Right. One of the things, too, that Joshua touches on a bit in chapter 11, which is really important, that many of the solutions we try to come up with for our environmental problems only create more problems.
Yeah. It backfires. Yeah.
Maybe I can find a way to put a paragraph in there about.
Well, you can look up where he says that in chapter 9.
11,
chapter 11.
Actually, Sharon, chapter 11 is the one I haven't finished yet.
Yeah. You'll see then where he just makes a brief notation that's really significant, which is about many of the solutions we come with for environmental issues only create further problems. And that's why I wanted to touch on population and why I put that in chapter 12 through in a section, because one of the biggest problems facing us more than anything else is overpopulation. It's behind so much.
We talk overpopulation, at the same time you're talking about thousands and thousands of people dying here and there. Starving.
Yeah, right. But many are replacing them at the same time, and because it's not only the land and people fighting over resources and not caring if others die. The dominant cultures very often don't care if blacks in Africa or elsewhere, or the Rohingya, or you name it, different groups are dying because of this issue of, behind it all is population and resources, the availability of resources, food, water, land. And so it is a big issue.
Yeah.
So now I think we have some ideas of where we're going. Okay. So is there anything anyone's unclear about before we all head for our computers and work?
Not really, Sharon.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you've joined us, Mary.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I acted on the thought to invite you.
It's remarkable that I
Yeah.
need you and I have visited, Sharon, and you know how I've been looking for a sense of purpose and volunteering all over the place because not holding my profession anymore. I haven't taught a class since last June. Makes me uneasy. So this book is a great project.
So the mind is not willing to rest. That's the case with intellectuals. That's right. The mind is constantly working. No matter
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go study Islam a bit and work with some languages I haven't encountered before.
Lovely, Mary. Yeah.
You can ask me. You can be led in wrong directions, so it's best to ask what would be good books to read.
I don't need any
Just
books.
like in Christianity, you've got this
want
extreme crazy fundamentalism.
I want to talk with real people.
Go to mosque. Go to a mosque on Friday. Go to a local mosque on Friday. That's when they have their services. And usually they hang around afterwards, and you can sit with the women during the mosque service.
I'm going to start not with a service, but at the college where there is an open Islamic center.
Okay.
Be there and interact with individuals. I'm not looking for a religion.
No, but I mean, you would get to really interact with the individuals. That's how I was told.
That's what I'm doing at the food bank.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're working together side by side.
But if you go to the mosque, Mary, let me stay with this theme. If you go to the mosque, that's where you get the core of what binds them. You get that experience.
I think I got that from Alia.
Huh?
I think I got that core.
Okay.
From Alia.
Oh.
From this book.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm interested.
Yeah.
And I don't want another book to read.
But okay, that makes sense, right.
With my heart, I want to be connecting with the immigrants in our community. Evoking light by cooperating together on things that help us all.
Sure.
Yeah.
So putting more stuff in my head isn't serving humanity.
Right. Right.
But making connections is, and
right.
That's what I want to do.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we know where we're going now.
And
I'm going to stop this recording again. And so sorry that most likely I lost the first one. But we know courage and the dark, which has been a major focus of the book.
Darkness contextualizes light.
Contextualizing light. I love it. That is a great entrance into chapter 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Lovely talking to both of you, Sharon, Mary.
Beautiful rest of the day.
Have a good Sunday.
Write some notes about what we talked about and look at making an outline for some chapters.
Sure.
Okay.
That'll be great.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye. Bye, Mary. Bye, Sharon.
Bye. Bye-bye.